Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, big welcome to Dr. Paola. As usual, fans forums will take questions from anybody. Please ask them with respect, and the answer will be given to you with respect. It's been a bit of a day, I know, for Dom, so who wants to start off?
I'll start with
question. We've got about 45 minutes.
Yeah, where's the chairman?
The chairman's, this is fans corner,
Okay,
speak to the manager, speak to the manager.
Just thought he might be here. So.
Well, no, it's meet the manager.
That's all right, no problem. I was asking a question then.
Yeah, no, that's fine, that's fine. It's meet the manager. Question?
That's all right, I'll find out.
We got all good report about you, so what's your ambitions with this club?
Yeah, I mean, obviously initially let's try and get a few wins because we are a little bit struggling down the bottom. It's like, well, you know, everywhere we've gone, we try to progress and do better and you know, do well and go up through leagues. So for me, it's a real good opportunity to do that. I mean, the potential is massive. The pitch is unbelievable. You know, there's no one in our league the sort of support we get here. So I mean, it's a great opportunity for us. And you know, we shouldn't really probably be in this league. But I will say, reputations and history mean nothing in football really. We're in this league because we're in this league and we've got to get out of it. So yeah, so.
Not a bad start with it.
Not bad. yeah, not too bad.
I didn't say welcome to the club.
Oh, cheers, thanks.
With Dom, you know, before the next question, I'm sure we want to know what were your thoughts on today's game?
Yeah, I thought it was, first half, didn't think we were that good. Didn't think we played very well. We didn't really play completely how we wanted to play, but we were just trying. We've only had one training session on Monday, and we're trying to get a few things in that perhaps we've not been doing over the course of the season. We came and had a look a few times this year, and there's areas that we thought need some improvement. So we were hoping to just try and get a few of those bits in today. So it was always a bit worrying that it wasn't all going to come together at once, but to be fair, at half-time we addressed a couple of things. I think second half it was a bit of a better display really, and to be fair, you know, we tried to pass when we could, tried to move the ball when we could, and everyone's taken on board everything we've asked them to do this week. And it's been a tricky week because it's been rushed, and we could only, probably did about an hour on shape and stuff like that. So there's a lot more to come. I'm not super happy with the display, but a good win, a good win against the side that's North. So can't complain too much, but I always want a bit more, to be fair.
With the training solo?
Yeah. We're Hastings, yeah. I mean, we'll train on the pitch when we can. Obviously, it's a great surface, so it suits us. But yeah, of course, just because I'm from Brighton, it's a Hastings club, and that's where we train. And we've committed to Hastings. We've got lads who travel from other areas. So from my point of view, that's the way it should be, really.
Would you sort of look towards using local players more, as regards getting them from elsewhere?
Yeah.
I mean, it's because with a town this size, we should have really some reasonable youngsters about who can, do the business, or at least get primed for it anyway.
Well, I mean, I said to Dave when we took the job, in an ideal world, you'd have everyone who lived just around the corner from the ground. But it's not always the case. I mean, if you take a look at who's playing in the Ryman League in Ryman South, there's a couple of lads that are playing at other Ryman club that are based around here. But at the moment, it's not perhaps the amount of depth that you'd like in the area. So, in an ideal world, of course, I mean, it makes life easier for everyone, doesn't it? Because they don't have to travel. I mean, today we had Taz, Jamal, and Ollie who got stuck in traffic on the way down. It affected the warm-up, it affected the starting line-up.
Yeah. So
in an ideal world, you'd like everyone 5 minutes away, but in reality, you only have to look around all the other Ryman South Sussex clubs, and most of them are taking players from all over the place. So hopefully, Nigel's role is obviously to try and join that up a little bit, and with the under-21s and the 18s, and hopefully we can see a few good players coming in. But I suppose if you look at it tonight, you've got Tim and Addy, you've got Krutz, you've got Richard Roses at far, Josh Pellin, so there's a nice nucleus, Kenny Pogue, there's a nice nucleus of local players, Sam Adams. So hopefully, in an ideal world, in answer to your question is yes.
Yeah.
But we've got to win. You know, we've got to win.
Oh yeah,
And that's,
right,
that's the priority. And you know, if there's a good player available and he's willing to travel, and he's someone that we want for the club to make him better, then obviously we look to sign him.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Another question? Nick?
Welcome to the club, Tom.
Cheers.
Do you have specific players in mind that you would like to bring to the club? And do you think these people will be willing to travel the distance?
To just clarify, most of the lads who were with us at EP were Brighton based. But I mean, I wanted to give people a fair crack who are here, because on paper everyone's been saying it, you know, Hastings should be challenging for the title this year, we've got good players and this, that and the other. But it's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, like today, you know, a lot of players today I thought did pretty well, considering they've only just got some new information from us. But yeah, I've got players earmarked if people aren't delivering. And they've got, you know, everyone's got two choices. They either take on board what we're asking them to do. I mean, today I thought we were quite nice to the lads, to be honest. You know, we were nice before the game, nice at half time, because we could have probably ranted and raved a bit about bits and pieces from the first half. But you know, you've got to think sometimes with the boys, you know, any football team, any group of players, they can only do what they're instructed to do. And I think there's people from the side, and I watch games sometimes, I'm saying this is rubbish, but I don't think the players are intentionally not taking on board information. But yeah, I mean, we're always looking for good players and players that can improve the team, that can make the team more exciting, that can make us more attack-minded, that can add quality to the side. I think Kev came in second half, and I think Kev's the sort of player that you know, we need in the side, because he's got good energy and keeps the ball well and his movement's good. But yeah, I mean, you know, we're just going to have to take it on face value at the moment. These are the lads we've got in the club. There's a lot of them with a lot of ability, and they've done a lot. And hopefully we can get a bit more out of them. But if not, then they won't be at the club, and there'll be other players coming in who will do what we want them to do, and will perform, because we have high standards and high expectations, really.
Another question?
Dom, can I ask, on today's performance, what sort of differences, if you do see any, between the standard at, you know, county league, where you were with East Preston, and what you saw out there today?
Well, I've been watching Ryman South for the last 2 years. I've been arrogant against the county league. We got to a stage where in the county league we had a strong side. Didn't really need to be going to watch opposition teams. So I've kind of been preparing for this for a couple of years. To be perfectly honest, I don't think the standards are a massive difference anymore. I think Ryman South is pretty much what the county one was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. I think with the Conference South coming in, everything's dropped down a level. So you know, every team in Ryman South for me normally has 2 or 3 really standout players, and the rest of them are kind of the same as what we come up against. So the only difference is maybe 2 or 3 players. I think it's a bit faster and it's a bit more frantic. And I think when you play the Kent sides, a lot of the Kent sides are quite direct and quite powerful, and you don't see a lot of that in the county league. The county league's really, you know, it's quite a soft league in terms of physicality, but in terms of sort of game in general, I don't think there's a huge jump between the teams at the top of our league and the teams at the bottom of our league and the teams at the top of the county league. So yeah, I would say not a huge jump.
Kevin?
Well, it was a couple.
That's matches.
So what's the bottom line for you? Trying to stay up, or
At the moment, I think all we've got to do is get results. I know it sounds a bit cliche and a bit cheesy, but it's true. I mean, we've not had a good start. You know, we're miles off the boys up the top, the Burgess Hills of this world at the moment. So my thought on it is let's try and get some quality and you know, let's try and play some good football, get some results, and then at Christmas we can have another look at it and see where we are then. You know, let's not lie. I'm here to do well. So I don't want to sit and bumble around down the bottom. I've got no interest in that really. But you know, the facts are the facts. You saw today, I think, once we scored the third, we were a bit confident, and the confidence was up. But you know, you can see that we're a bit fragile. Everything the boys are doing at the moment, they're a little bit, you know, a bit nervy. You know, a bit nervy in possession, a bit nervy with their defending, a bit nervy, maybe not wanting to show up and get on the ball as much. So you know, that has to come into the game. So we need a few wins. But yeah, of course. I mean, I'm really ambitious. Every league we've been in, we've always looked to win it really. And you know, I kind of think, what's the point of football if you're not trying to win things? You know, to be fair. Yeah.
Another question.
Well,
John Roberts.
I thought Sam Adams was an excellent choice as captain today. Is he your full-time captain now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't see why not. I thought he was brilliant. I thought he was brilliant before we come to the club. He's my sort of player. I like wholehearted players. I like players who give their all for the team, which is why I like Kev Kearney, who played to come on, because they're the sort of players you want in the side. Yeah, I mean, Sam was one when I first spoke to Dave about it. I said, you know, he's one of the players that we want in the side, and, you know, to build things around, because he's what supporters want to see, he's what managers want to see. He's wholehearted. You know, all day today we're screaming and shouting at him to do this, to do that. He just takes it on board. He gives a nod and gets on with it. That's what you want as a manager. They're the sort of players you want. So yeah, I mean, I've got no issue. I've never been a big one for captaincies. You know, if you've got leaders on the pitch, you've got leaders. Sean Ray don't need a band, does he, to instruct people and give people information. Pullers who played alongside him today don't need an armband. Josh Pelling, you know, Addy, they're all, you know, they should be leaders. They've done a lot, they've played a lot. But yeah, I mean, Sam is good. You know, Sam is a good player, and he's one we want in and amongst the side this year, definitely.
One question.
Yeah, we sat here last year in the same situation with John Meggs. I know John Meggs is getting on a bit now, he's probably twice your age at least. But again, vast experience of non-league football. I've been coming here for 40 years. I remember John as a player.
Yeah.
I just hope this club will give you more of a chance than they did John Meggs.
Yeah.
So you're young, you're enthusiastic, and that's what we need.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
Well, I've got to do it the other way though, haven't I? You know, because it's all very well me sitting here now after a game where we weren't brilliant. We got, you know, probably got a bit lucky and Josh Pelling made some good saves. But the flip side of that is I've got to deliver. It's all very well, you know, with anyone, everyone's got to deliver. I always say this. I mean, sales is a job.
But you need a chance as well.
Well, you do need a chance, but I've got a chance. I'm here. You know, they've given us the job. I'm here. Any club or committee would be pretty stupid if we was winning every week to get rid of us. You know, so there's always two sides to everything. I think, and I think you only have to look in somebody's Cardiff. You know, look at Cardiff with the situation with their manager. There's sometimes other stuff behind the scenes that you have to see. Unfortunately for supporters, you don't see the full picture, and that's hard because it's not your fault. But it's just about what I do. If I'm winning every week and we're getting results and we're doing well and everyone's enjoying their football and we're playing nice football on a great pitch, then I can't see any committee wanting to get rid of that. You know, you've got to be pretty fucking
Melvin Hastings.
But yeah, you've got to be pretty stupid to get rid of someone that's doing well and bringing success and playing football that make people want to come to the club and be involved. So, you know, let's have a fresh start in general, and let's try and push on from there. Really, I'm all about positivity where possible, and I can't praise anyone behind the scenes enough so far in the support they've given us in the first 2 or 3 weeks. And again, you don't often see all of that. Hopefully it continues, and hopefully it's not a flash in the pan, but again, I don't see why not. I take everyone on face value, and so I am, and hopefully it will continue in that vein. Cheers.
He's human.
Yeah, sorry about that, yeah.
He's not on the side, he's a very naughty boy.
Next question.
Imagine you're a green, regardless of level, somebody being got
Yeah, mine.
You have to do the simple things right.
Yeah.
You've got to keep defences tight, you've got to cut it off. All the again.
Yeah.
Occasionally I've thought that given this season, although we should have had a better side this year than we had last year, it's not good. And I think it looks as though they've got to do the basic things, the simple things, and they're trying to be too complicated, flick offs, but it doesn't work. Try the old monotone layoffs. Much easier, works better. There are certain things like today, I noticed, their keeper couldn't kick, he was injured, he was pushing the ball out to someone else on the end. Why didn't he have someone on him? On the bloke outside the area? You can't be offside if you're 1 inch outside the player. It's dignity. Just strip the keepers. What needs to be a ball?
Yeah, but there's reasons for that today, and I'll explain it if you want me to. I mean, the reason for sitting a bit deeper today is obviously we've lost 5 on the spin. I wanted a win today. I didn't really care how we played today. I thought it was important we got a win. Today was probably about as negative as a manager I've played in probably 3 seasons, because I thought it was more important that a side that's lacking in a bit of confidence, you know, perhaps defends in our own half, allows them to have possession. And to be fair, I mean, you know, they had a few chances, but not a huge amount, and we limited them in doing that. And so, you know, the centre-halves for me are always the worst passers on the pitch normally. Let the centre-halves have the ball, let the centre-halves come out with the ball, let them run out of ideas, and we'll pick up second balls. But, you know, trying to get everyone to do everything straight away after just an hour on Monday.
Expecting straight away.
Yeah.
No, basically, I mean, something that's been obvious from that years is that you get a gone kick.
Yeah.
And 20 outfield players all go to one side halfway. You've got nobody over there. You pump the ball out to that run, he's got a free. He's never going to do anyone else.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we're not really going to be looking to pump the ball with. We're going to look to pass it. So hopefully,
Got to get their into
well, let's see what happens after a few games. You know, once we get a few games under our belts, and once we get to a stage where we're confident that the boys out there can do what we're being asked to do. Today it was like playing Saluti at times, because me and Brown were yelling and putting people around. You know, once we get a bit set, we can concentrate on perhaps more exciting parts of football. But it's really important. We ain't kept clean sheets this year. We've had 1 clean sheet. It's important we tighten up. You know, it's important we get a bit of a solid foundation. Yeah.
I mean, did it simple, but they kept the ball.
But do you think some of that is because the boys got a bit of confidence after having a bad run? So hopefully we can go in sat on Tuesday with a bit
We're
of...
not doing the old Wimbledon route.
Yeah.
Trying to pass all we can.
Well, we're into passing. You know, if you ever speak to my mate Brown, my assistant, all he ever wants to talk about is Barcelona and tiki-taka football. So if you want to have a chat about passing, you can get him in here and he'll bore you to tears. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, hopefully we can be a bit more expansive after a few games. We can be a bit more creative and make it a bit, you know, a bit more enjoyable. But all we wanted today was to work on trying to keep possession, trying to keep shape, you know, trying to get a bit more of a unit as a side, and then hopefully we can add a bit more flair. You know, Taz today, what a flair player, you know, but today he just had to do a job for us. He had to do a shift. Kenny Pope, centre forward, had to do a shift out on the left and on the right at different times. So today was just about getting a result. We'll worry about playing nicer football and playing more creative.
I just want to know that he's going to come.
Well, I hope so, mate, because I wouldn't want to watch boring football. I'm not really into boring football, so...
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thank you. Other questions? Barbara?
When are you going to have time to do this training with the players? Because like this week we've got East Grinstead away.
Yeah.
You're going to have game after game after
Yeah.
game.
Well, after this week we've got a couple of weeks where we haven't got a midweek game. We're hoping to get on the pitch. We're hoping to do a few bits and pieces, you know, to do the shape. But that's the problem, you know, we've come in October. You know, if we'd had 2 months in pre-season, I'd back us to be, you know, to get these bits and pieces done. But all we can do at the moment is work on bits and pieces during games, work on bits and pieces in the warm-up. I mean, I don't know if anyone watched the warm-up, but we did about half an hour of the shape that we were playing in the game. So we can use those opportunities to try and get a bit of this into our team. But it's going to take a bit of time, you know. There's going to be weeks where it's probably not going to work, but it is going to take a bit of time, and we've just got, you know, I'm not asking for patience really, but we've got to get those bits and pieces in, and if they don't happen, we've got to get other players in who can do it. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be tricky because we're mid-season, the weather's getting worse. I don't want to wreck that pitch because that's one of our biggest assets as a passing team. But, you know, the first couple of months we've got to try and get out there or get an Astro or get a training facility, you know, and do some work on it.
But also, you say your pitch is one of your best assets.
Yeah.
And I've been coming up here a long time.
Yeah.
Sometimes a mud bath's always a better game.
Oh,
Also, it's a good asset. Other teams come here, they love this pitch.
Yeah.
They play football on it.
Yeah, but you know my thoughts on that is they might love it at the moment when they're seeing the ball, but they won't love running around it if we keep possession.
Oh yeah.
You know, I do a bit of running, do a few marathons, and I wouldn't want to just run around that pitch just because it's nice. Do you know what I mean? So it's lovely when they're in possession. And you know, they might turn up and think, oh, you know, it is a nice surface, this, that and the other, but if they're having to work and they're not seeing the ball, you know, they ain't going to want to play on that massive pitch. I wouldn't want to run around if we're giving them the run around, you know. You know, that is our biggest asset, the pitch.
The thing is, it's got to be used as a training as well, I think.
Pardon?
It's got to be used for us to train.
Well, we are. We train
That's
on Monday.
good, yeah.
You know, we are training on it. But you've got to bear in mind as well that the groundsman's got you know work. He's got other commitments. We've got under 18s on it. We've got under 21s on it. So you know, there's only 7 days in the week. We play on a Saturday. We play on a Tuesday. There's only another 5 days of the week, and then we've got an under 21s and under 18s. So you know, got to be a bit of give and take.
Yeah.
And you know, if there was nothing in place prior to us being here, it's because because there was nothing asked to be in place. You know, it ain't the club's fault. It's not the club's fault that no one's asked for that, or no one's asked for a training facility, or no one's wanted to work on those things. So, you know, got to be a bit patient. I've got to be a bit patient. In an ideal world, I'd like to say, right, boys, we'll train Monday, Wednesday, Friday for a couple of weeks. We'll get all the bits and pieces done, but it's not realistic. You know, it's unfortunate. As much as I'd love it to. Yeah, so I'll get out of the house.
You're saying a lot about playing on Tuesday. Are we going to go back to playing on the Tuesday? As opposed to a Monday, because I honestly don't think it's enough time in between rest. Because I don't think those players having a beer after the game. But, you know, win, draw, lose, they deserve a beer. They've only got Sunday, they're back to work Monday, and then they're playing Monday night. I think it's too close together.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point, and I think, you know, we're just going to have to try it. You know, and we're just going to have to see.
I don't know why Davey wants it on the Monday, because he thinks he's going to get more revenue because there's not the Champions League and all that. I appreciate that.
But also, you know, from a, you know, again, to flip it round, it's quite nice to have everyone here. You know, if there's 100 people not turning up because Chelsea are on, for example, you know, that's, you know, the supporters are a big help to the players.
At the end of the day, the players not going to get their rest.
Well, it might be that we have to look at that. Yeah, we might have to look at it. I've never experienced it before where I've played on a Monday. So if it is a factor, then results are the most important thing, and then we can address it. So, you know, we'll have to try it. You know, I've never done it before. I don't know whether, and you might be right. You know, I was here on the Folkestone game, and maybe the reason they run out of petrol the last 20 minutes, half an hour, was because it's a too short break. It's very possible, but we'll have to try it. You know, at the moment, that's what's in place. So we'll give it a go. But you know, if
I know you're playing ground, but you know,
well, if it
because
does,
they're not professionals, they've got to go.
No, I agree with you. And people like Addy and 1 or 2 others, they do need their rest in between games. And so it may well be that it isn't the right option. But we did briefly discuss that when we came in, and I don't think it's set in stone. So I think. You know,
I mean, I know he might think that he's going to lose a few supporters if somebody's beaten up on Tuesday. But if Hastings are winning every week, they're going to come in.
Well, it's a balance of that, isn't it? But I agree. Look, I mean, with everything, it's a bit new. Just wait and see. If it affects things, I'm not going to be happy either. You know, I'm not going to be happy about it being on a Monday. If I think that the players are losing 20%, 30% of energy because of it, then you know, I'm not going to be happy either. You know. So, you know, that's one that I can then go back to the committee, go back to the chairman and say, look, we need to address this or look at this and maybe change it.
Mind you, the only other way of looking at that is as well, is the opposing side have got to play Monday night as well, haven't they? So they're going to be in the same...
Yeah, but sometimes, like, if you're playing, for example, Guernsey, they seem to take their kick-off when it suits them, i.e. they're playing in the morning. And they've got
don't
that
get me
extra
wrong,
12 hours.
I'm with you, I'd rather play on, I'd rather come up here a Tuesday night, I'd rather it be a Tuesday night, I think it makes more sense.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter to me if it's Monday or a Tuesday night, but I'm people that are playing. I want a successful team.
Same. And everything we're going to try and do will be basically trying to be successful. So if it is a factor, then we can talk about it. Until we've given it a go, you know, we'll give it a go, and if it's an issue, then hopefully, you know, we can talk to.
I mean, your training methods might get around the problem anyway, but all I'm thinking of is them having some rest.
No, I'm with you there.
I mean, I just play twice a week, and I know, you know.
Point well made. The gentleman behind you.
Hi Don. First off, pretty poor. I think everyone agreed in that. I think they couldn't keep the ball. What did you say at half time to turn it around?
We just changed the shape a little bit. I think what was going a bit wrong in the first half was Sam and Ronnie Dolan were getting on. So there was big gaps in the middle where we were getting a bit overrun. But also, to be fair, it's new for everyone. You know, I know they've been here for the season, but they haven't been with us. And it was a new shape. You know, I don't think they've played that sort of shape before in the middle there. I mean, they might have done other periods, but I don't think they've played that sort of shape during the season. And I don't think they've done what we've asked them to do during the season. So I think it was just a case of, at half-time, reminding them of what we wanted them to do and you know, go on from there, really. That was the key, to just emphasise a few points that weren't working. I think at times we're getting a bit done at full-back in the first half, so we just reminded the full-backs of their responsibilities. We tried to explain to Kenny a little bit more what we were asking him to do, because it was a bit alien for him. And also, I think as well, we just eased into the game a little bit. I think the boys just found their feet, got a bit more confident, and so it does sometimes come. But the good thing was we come in, we went in half-time drawing, we weren't behind, we put it right and went on. But yeah, I mean, just a bog standard, tactical half-time really, just to try and get a little bit more into them. But I think they all knew they were giving the ball away cheap. Everyone could see it. But again, that's a bit of nerves. For me, that looks like nerves, because they're good players, because they can pass the ball, because they did it at the end. So, that lack of confidence and the games we've lost over the last, month or so, it does play on people's minds. They're all humans, we're all humans. I come here today and think, I'm human, I'm nervous, I'm thinking, we could get done, how are we going to start? It's just human nature. For football, I'm quite bolshy and up for it and confident, and today was a different scenario really. So just finding our feet. But the good thing, we went in at half-time 1-1. We were hoping to go in at half-time 1-1 because there was lots of space for them to play in the first half. And second half, I think we limited, apart from the one where Pullers made the good block tackle and Josh made a good save. But in general, I thought we were decent, especially on the counter-attack. We got better at doing that as the game went on. As they pushed numbers forward, we caused some problems the other end. So.
You've seen a lot, over the last beginning of the season, a lot of long balls. Are we going to see change in the second half? Is it going to shorten up? I think that's one of the reasons our second half improved was because it's a lot shorter.
Yeah, but
it's more at feet. Is that going to be something we can see?
Well, I hope so, mate, because I think it's the way football should be played. And also, you've got to bear in mind that it's all very well doing it in training. Anyone can be brave in training, and you can do stuff, and you make a mistake, it doesn't matter. But it's trying to get them to be confident and have the belief to want to get on the ball. And if you look second half, I think Ronnie, second half, wanted to get on the ball more, Tim wanted to get on the ball more. Obviously Sam was good most of the game, but if those boys get on the ball, then we can do it. But you need a bit of bravery, and it takes a bit of time, and it takes a bit of trust. That I don't know what's happened before, but I'm not going to bollock them for giving the ball away if they're trying to pass the ball, because I think it's the right way to play. And I think if you move the ball quick enough, don't matter who you're up against, really, don't matter how else. But in answer to your question, yeah, we want to.
But you will bollock them for making the wrong decision. Obviously,
making the wrong decision is different.
Yeah,
making the wrong decision is different. Right. We did bollock them today for wrong decisions, but passing the ball, I haven't got any problems if they're trying to do it and it don't come off. I'm fine with that. I think that's the way football should be played. And the more you do it, the better that you get at it. I always highlight Bogner at our level. Big fan of the way Bogner play, and they constantly encourage their players to pass the ball. Actually, it sinks in, and they're quite limited in terms of their budget. They're quite limited in terms of the players they can get down there. But they're always competitive. And that's what we're trying to do here, really.
I think that's what people like to see. They just want to see an honest performance.
Yeah.
I mean, we're all aware that teams are going to lose. We're not going to win every game. We know that.
Why not?
But we just like to see. It'd be nice if they do. It would be. But realistically, because every football game is down in the end to a little bit of luck, as well as you could have the best players in the world playing for your team. We've all seen that. Yeah. But you doesn't guarantee you will win, does it?
Well, also, I think you'll find.
But I'm sure that most of us would like to see a good, honest effort.
Yeah.
And that's the main thing we come to see.
Well, to be fair, you'll see. If we do bring players in, you'll see the type of players that we look to sign. For me, I'm not a huge fan of names. I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't think it often works. Whitehall did it a little bit, but they're talking mega money to do those names. But I'm a fan. You'll see the people that we play. I like players who give their all. I like players who are playing for their mates, not necessarily playing for me, playing for their teammates, playing for the club, putting the club ahead of themselves. I thought Kenny put the club and the team ahead of himself today because he didn't want to play it. It's not his position. He didn't really see a lot of the ball for a lot of the game, but he and he got his deserve. He got a hat-trick. I think he got a hat-trick. He got 3 goals, and it's a fair play to him, and that's what we want to see. I'm not interested in players who are here, who come here, who think they can have an easy ride or anything. I'm not interested. All the players we'll bring in are players that I know that I can trust to deliver, like you said, an honest performance and they'll give their all for the team.
Talking of which, Mr. Vickers, is he fully fit now?
No.
Tom?
No.
I
Tom's
wondered.
going
Because
to have a couple of games for the under-21s in the next week or so. I want
I'd like to see Tom back.
Yeah, Tom's a great player, and I'd like to, I want to see him, and I want him to be part of our side. But he's got to be right, and I think he knows that. So he's chomping at the bit because he's all footballers are. They don't want to sit on the bench.
Yeah.
They'll be injured. So he's going to have a couple of games for the under-21s. But I wanted him here today to sort of. Today I wanted the squad together so that people could see that they were part of it and that they were, they're going to be involved. But obviously, hopefully now we can get him a couple of games and get him a bit of fitness and then bring him back in because he's a talent. He's a great player.
He is
really
good, and he
player.
does give it his all as well.
Well, yeah, that's what you want, isn't it? Really. I always look at this league, right? And you lot watched it probably, guaranteed a lot more than me. But look at the teams who've won it in the last couple of years. Peacehaven, were they that good? They had a good striker. But they worked hard for each other, they were a unit and they battled for each other, and that's what gets you through really, and that's what gets you results. So they're the sort of players.
This is the same with Guernsey last season, with Ross Allen and whatever. I mean, he could put them away, and he was the difference.
Yeah, but I mean, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for players who want to be here for the right reasons, that want to be part of the club and want to progress and do well for the club, and they're always the players that I try and identify. And if they've got a good character about them, that's kind of what we want. To be fair.
Good. Okay, I'm conscious with time's
Yeah, sorry, I like to chat.
No, we want you to rant on, we want you to rant. John?
You talked about players coming in. Do you expect any more to be leaving the next week? I mean, Dave Cook's gone, I've heard correctly or incorrectly.
Yep.
There's someone's put an offer for Jamal King.
Yep.
Is he likely to be here?
I don't know because I tried to speak to him yesterday and then obviously he was so late today we couldn't start him. But I don't know, mate, to be honest. I mean, I've got a feeling, people are a bit like us, we're sort of sounding them out a little bit and vice versa, really. For all I know, they could all be in a change room now thinking, I'm not playing for that idiot. You know what I mean? So, so I don't know, answer to your question, but I'm hopeful that people will hang around and give it a go because the attitude...
Do you want to keep Jamal?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I don't see why not. I've seen him a bit at Horsham, and I've said to everyone, I'd like to give everyone a fair go. But equally, if he does travel a long way, and if he's got, the 7 day from Morton Casuals, it might be more than just the 7 day. Do you know what I mean? So you never know how much another club spoke to a player. But we only want people here that want to be here, that want to knuckle down, that want to work hard, and that's it really. That hopefully they all stay and they all give it a go. But if not, then obviously we bring someone else in. That's football.
Have you got a total of 3 games? Like ending what comes in, what goes out?
Yeah, without doubt. Yeah, I wouldn't do it any other way. No one's had any say at all. I wouldn't do it otherwise. It's pointless. At the end of the day, when you're out there, if someone's making decisions for me, then I'm not prepared to back that because if things go wrong, it's my head. I'm the one who's made to look stupid. There'll never be a situation where anyone has a but everyone's got an opinion in football, haven't they? Do you know what I mean? We could all go around the room now, ask every single person, they'll all have a different view on the game. So we have to keep that in mind. Everyone's got an opinion on the game, but I will, me and my management team will make decisions while we're at the club. As simple as that. And that has never ever come into the equation when we've had discussions prior to being at the club.
What about Bartek for the fans?
Pardon?
What about Bartek for the fans? Is Dave Walker there for you?
I don't know, mate, you'll have to ask.
Well, let's not get into bar tabs because
Well, starting 11, you've mentioned previously, obviously the conversation that you've seen a lot of Hastings Uniteds. Where of that starting 11 today do you think we need to improve?
It's difficult, isn't it? Because today was a bit of a gimme, I thought that, it could have gone either one or two ways, we could have lost, and I could have come in here and given it all a big and said, that was because they're all playing like their old manager, set them up to play, or we could win. So, at the moment, we've got to have 2 or 3 games to have a look, really, before. I think, perhaps slightly, we're lacking a bit of depth in general. It worries me the fact that, we haven't got cover at left back, we haven't got cover at right back. At centre halves, we've not really got cover. Well, we've got pullers coming in today, but defensively, you only need 1 or 2 injuries, and we're playing people out of position. So, my first thought is we need to bump the squad up a little bit. I like to work with 16, 17 players. Where they come from is, a different matter, but I think we do need to bump the squad up, not necessarily as starting players in the starting 11. But yeah, I mean, I think we need a bit of depth and we need a bit of competition, and we need people to be turning up on a Saturday thinking, I've really got to keep playing well to stay in the side. And that's always been my view. I've always tried to have a squad of 16, 17 and having the headache of dealing with that number. But then they're quite driven when they're out on the pitch to perform. Because it doesn't matter what anyone says, I don't think any footballer travels to football just for the money or anything like that at this level. It's not big enough to make it relevant. People want to be playing football and they all want to be loved and they all want to be told that they're the player that you want in the side. So that's what we want. We want 16, 17 players, hungry players, all going in the same direction, that will give us the chance to mix things up a bit. And we're quite big on changing the shape and changing the formation depending on who we play. So we're going to need some different options. At times we might want to go with pace going forward, and maybe not even so much quality going forward, but pace, so we can cause problems with teams that struggle at the back. We might want to have an extra defensive midfielder in there. Play with two. So once we get our foot in the door, we can work on a bit tactically, but we need numbers. More than starting 11. We need 11. 11 out there, and then 5 or 6 that are chomping at the bit to be in the side. Really.
And 2 centre backs today. I think Sean's obviously a machine.
Yeah.
He wins the ball. A bit slow.
Yeah.
I think the man alongside him today again was a bit slow. We're vulnerable.
I don't think you've seen how quick Pullers is. I'm telling you that now, mate. He may look old. He may look old, but he's quick. And today, you've got to bear in mind, we were playing most of the game defending on the 18-yard box. I don't think anyone outpaced them two. And they're both excellent players. They're both exactly what you want. 2 really, really good centre-halves. And today, I thought, the problem was not a centre-half. I thought full-back we got caught a bit. And the player, they were hitting balls in behind our full-backs. Can't account for that as your centre-halves. But no, I'm happy with MT. I'm happy with, I think they're both good players. And I think today, they carried the defence a little bit at times. So, we'll see, won't we? I mean, it's one of them, isn't it? We could have. Sam Shafe plays for East Grinstead. He's very quick on Tuesday. That's a test, isn't it? Let's see if they can handle him and play with players. You don't need, they don't have to be quick to play at centre half. Centre half, you don't need to run if you're a good player. If you read the game properly and you cover around and you communicate, you've got to bear in mind it's a bit new for those boys tonight. So I think Pullers said at the end, and Sean said at the end, just not lack of talking, lack of communication. Lack of organisation at times. That's going to take a bit of time. And we've got to get that into them as well as management. They need to talk. And if you talk and you organise and you communicate early, you don't have to sprint. You don't have to run. Look at, again, I always say Barcelona, but I don't think they've got many really rapid players. They move the ball, let the ball do the work, and they don't have to worry. And if you're in possession, 80% of the game, you don't have to run anyway because you're in possession. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I've backed them two, to be fair. I think they're both perfect. They're perfect for what we need at the moment. And hopefully, you've got to bear in mind again, he's been playing in the County League coasting for 2 seasons. But we'll see. If he ain't what we need, then he won't be playing.
Okay. We've got about 10 minutes left, so I'll take about 5 more questions. So, Mick first. Put your hands up if you want to question.
Slightly frivolous question, John. Don't take this one. So 31.
33.
Why aren't you playing? Are you in fact rubbish at football?
Yeah, I'm not the best player. I got a lot of bad injuries before I was even out of youth football, to be fair. So yeah, I mean, I realised about 21, 22 that I was never going to be able to do what I wanted to do in football. And also I got a bit fed up playing for managers and getting to finals and sitting in the chamber and thinking we're never going to win today because you picked the wrong team. So I suppose I'm a bit of a control freak in some respects. So I don't think I would have been a good player to have in people's sides. But yeah, I mean, average footballer, average player, wholehearted. Always thought I understood the game well, but not a great player by a long stretch.
Done with it.
Hi Dom, what did you think of the support today and how do you think it affects the side?
I think it's really good. Yeah, it's one of that and the pitch, 2 biggest selling points for us. Said from day one. If support isn't positive, it's a massive thing. And you hear it all, and you hear it, and the players hear it, and the players hear when it's negative. But I mean, you've got every right to do what you want. You pay to come through the door. But yeah, it's massive. It's a massive thing. I mean, probably when I'm talking to players, I'm saying, look, they're getting 400 and they're not doing well. What could happen if we do well? So I mean, for me, it's massive. I've come from EP. People got 60. You know, most of them are the opposition, and we've got 4 kids behind the goal who sing. So it's like, you know, today is brilliant. You know, it's brilliant, and hopefully we can give you a side that you enjoy and that play good football, and it can get, you know, it can be more positive. And yeah, it's a massive asset. It's a massive asset, and hopefully we can use it to our advantage. You know.
Any more questions? Harry,
just quick. What's your take on the substitutions? And it's so used to sitting on the bench, 2 minutes to go, probably bring them on. If they're not doing it even in the first half, bring them off.
To be fair, I think at this level, I think you've got to be very careful in taking people in the first half, because I think you can kill a player because I don't think it's been needless. But if there's something drastically wrong, or we've got the shape wrong, or you know we're at fault, then yeah, potentially we'd have to address it. But I mean, the substitutions today, all the substitutions were largely tactical. Bright came on at the end because he's quick. Mitchell come on from the left because Taz was having to drop deep and he's a bit of a liability because he wants extra touch and he's skillful and he plays like Ronaldo in the box. You know, so you don't want that in the end there when you're trying to keep hold of the lead. So we brought Mitch on who's a bit defensive minded, and Kev came in there because he gives good energy and we wanted to get a grip in the middle there. So I mean, we'll make the subs as we see fit. I mean, I agree with you unless we're going to make changes at the end there just to waste the sub really. The subs will be made if we need to make them, and you know we might do the odd time wasting somebody in there, but yeah, I mean we'll look to make changes to impact on the game. We're always thinking, can we impact on the game? What can we do to improve the performance, or like I said, impact? You know, make the opposition think. Can we change things around to make the opposition think? And today, to be fair, we didn't change anything around to make the opposition think. We were just trying to stay tight.
More questions?
Yeah, I've been a right moaning bastard this season. I really am. And I hope you can change it.
You are every season.
Yeah. I just hope you can change it because I've just not been completely satisfied with how they've been playing. I know they can play. That's the frustrating bit.
Well, that's difficult. When I spoke to the lads on Monday, every one of them said, you know, to be honest, it was bizarre because I pulled them all out individually, and unless they rehearsed it, it was bizarre because they all said roughly the same things. I've underachieved. I've not played to my potential. You know, the shape hasn't really suited me. The dressing room's good. Because I thought when we turned up, I thought, well, perhaps the dressing room's rubbish. You know, perhaps they don't get on. But I mean, they get on really well. You know, from what I can tell. You know, the change room's bubbly, which is the first thing you want as a manager. I thought, well, perhaps we'll have to get rid of a few and get the change room better. It's not like that. So it's not the case. So maybe it's just a bad start. Maybe the shape hasn't suited these boys, and maybe they've had a cut. You know, they come into the season, everyone telling them how good they were going to be, and sometimes they're humans.
Too much.
And you know what? Sometimes I've turned up at games and we've won 5-6 on the spin, and you get a bit complacent, and your mind drifts a little bit, and perhaps you're not as focused, and you get found out. And as a manager, that's when you learn a bit. But hopefully we can address that. Like I said, I think they seem quite an honest bunch. You know, as supporters, you should be pleased with a lot of the lads you've got in the club, because they are an honest bunch, and they all are gutted about how things are going. And obviously, perhaps you don't see that, but what I saw on Monday tells you that they are gutted about things, and they're not just going through emotions. But rest assured, if any of them do start going through emotions, they ain't going to be playing for me. So hopefully we're on the same page.
I think a lot of it, as you know, like you're on about, once you've got settled, you can bring some flair in and all that to please the supporters. Because we all want good football. I think the trouble here is because at the start of the season, we are going to be promoted. We're going to win this league. As soon as one thing goes against it, confidence drops. And you know yourself, with a football club or any sportsman, with the confidence, they're knackered.
Well, that was the performance you got today from a side with no confidence. That was the display you got today. You know, there was no, we're going to go out and win this game. It was like, can we win it? You know, if your mindset's we're going to go out and win the game, you get a bit different performance. But you know, I think, like I said, I think a lot of it was because they had high expectations. The club had high expectations. The supporters had high expectations, and they've had a couple of results. And perhaps if there isn't anyone to address, you know, where things have been going wrong, they're struggling, thinking, well, we are a good side, we have got good players, why aren't we doing it? And then that plays on people's mind. It's the same, we're all humans, aren't we? When we're at work and, you get dug out by your manager, it gets you down, it knocks your confidence, and that's what they are, they're only lads. A lot of them are youngish, and they're perhaps on life experience, you learn to deal with things, don't you? But some of them are young. Sam Crutwell, is a good player, looks short of confidence. We were saying to him today just what a good player he is, and he's one for the future for this club, whether he's playing a left back or centre mid, because he's got such great technique, such a good player. But it's a bit of confidence, he looks a bit nervy and probably making the wrong decisions because he's worried about making a mistake, and that's because he's 17 and he's never experienced, just to get through games or get something going well. So, I think that's the big problem. If we can get the confidence and we can get the belief back with the players we've got, perhaps with a few additions to liven things up a little touch, then hopefully we'll be on a good footing moving forward.
Okay, I'll offer the last question to somebody that hasn't asked one before.
Oh yeah, I'll just have a light-hearted one to finish. Noticed today you were down the other end warming up, and what was the reason behind that?
The player said that. I didn't know, to be fair, but it worked. No, I'm the most superstitious bloke in the world. It's ridiculous. So we'll be playing in exactly the same squares within an inch. Everything will be exactly the same. I'll tell Taz to turn up at half 2. But I mean, it was just one of them things. But I mean, again, it might make the players feel subconsciously. It's just a change in it, and I think that sometimes is what's needed. It's just a bit of a change in people's mindsets, and and that's what you get sometimes. But it's only one game, boys and girls.
Yeah. Well, last season we were telling them they should have the second half going towards the co-warrants.
Right.
What do we know?
Yeah. Well, all of them things. I mean, you just don't know. But hopefully, like I said, hopefully we can kick on now. It's only one game. It's only one win. Eastern's will be a different matter on Tuesday. They're fighting for their lives. The manager's a good friend of mine. We saw him a lot last year in our league. It's going to be a different game. Today, like I said, was a bit of a gimme. We were at home. We had good support here today. The boys are obviously hoping to make an impression. Tuesday, they might take the foot off the gas a bit, in which case we've got to address things. But, we just want to, one game at a time, and keep pushing on and keep trying to improve the displays and give you something to enjoy, really. Something to make your Saturdays and Tuesdays or Mondays, whatever day we decide to play. Worthwhile, really.
One more, Pat, one more.
Oh, go on.
That's the way now. No swearing now.
If you can get Taz on the cross that ball,
Early.
instead of all go step up, instead of losing the ball so often, he looks good on the ball, good on the ball. So if you can get him to cross that ball,
Here.
I agree with you, I agree, but then you have to look at it and say, there's some flaws in his game, there's a reason why he's not still a pro, and trying to get that into him. I've had players like Taz before, there's a reason why the pro clubs have let him go, and the reason he's playing Ryman South, because he's an unbelievable talent. He is an unbelievable talent to have in this club, with his technique, with his ability. He can go inside, he can go outside, he delivers, like you said, he delivers a good ball, but there might be something up there. That's the bit that's... there might be. Everyone's playing at this level for a reason, but I agree if we can get some delivery, but also, we might be playing a different way, and Taz might be having a different role in the side in the next few weeks. I've got big plans for Taz because he was exciting. When we saw him, we thought he's the sort of player that, he makes me enjoy football. He makes me enjoy watching a game. You want players like that in the side. You travel 50 yards with a ball time and time again. And today, he only gave the ball away a bit when he got tired at the end, but it's because he is carrying the ball so far, constantly. But hopefully we can add a bit of coaching to that and give him a bit of direction. He's only 22, he's only young, and he's got a lot, you think, I keep comparing him to Ronaldo, I'm not kidding, but if you compare him to Ronaldo when he was younger, he'd have all the tricks, all the flair and no end products, and then all of a sudden it sort of just clicked in his head when to make the right decisions. And you've got a worldie on your hands, and we could have a worldie on our hands with him. I really believe that, and I've been telling him that because he is a bit special,
Just get it to click in his head.
Yeah, I hope he gets click in his head,
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for...
Yeah,